My name is Nonkwe Manyanky. Born and raised in Suba, that's Homa Bay County. I did my early education in the village, that's in Suba, but later on proceeded to Maseno High School and Mango High School, especially for O and A levels. I later went to college to train. I am a pharmacist by profession. Currently, I'm the Suba South Sub County pharmacist. My job entails checking on the pharmaceutical activities in the whole sub-county, the availability of drug, their usage, and all that kind of thing. My first employment was in Nairobi, where I worked from 1993 to the year 2000 before I relocated to Kisumu. So I basically know a lot about Nairobi, and I can't compare the life in Nairobi with that of Kisumu or towns outside Nairobi. If one asked me now if I would come back to work in Nairobi, I think I would find it a bit too difficult because I find it too congested for life, and I find life a bit too difficult in terms of mobility and that kind of stuff. We know reasons why that happens. You know, people still think that there's a lot of job opportunities in Nairobi, so that migration into the city still continues. But I thank the new constitution for having brought devolution, which devolves a number of activities into the peripheries, into the counties, so that there are opportunities in the peripheries. So there is real need for people to start thinking of moving to the peripheries. I know of a lot of counties that are establishing industries. I know of a lot of opportunities in terms of tourism and the like, which can employ a lot of people in the peripheral counties. So I think there needs to be a deliberate effort to make this happen. Otherwise, if this doesn't happen, Nairobi will continue being a heavily congested town, a heavily congested city. There are a lot of things that are untapped. Like if I'm to talk to you about Suba County in Homa Bay. It is a beautiful place with rolling hills, beautiful beaches, beautiful islands. If you come back to Kisumu, again, we've seen a lot of improvement in terms of the beautification of the town. In fact, I can say for certain that at present, Kisumu ranks very high, maybe in the top 2 in the whole republic in terms of cleanliness. But my wish is also that we don't put a lot of efforts to do the cities and forget the rural areas, because the majority of people live in the rural areas, so we need also to give them good roads, good water, electricity and the like. So again, so as not to allow people to move from the rural areas into the Kisumu city or any other city, because if you don't do that, those cities will become just like Nairobi is at present, fully congested. And when places are fully congested, we know things like rent will skyrocket and people will find it difficult to get good housing. Education in around Kisumu and the western region has also increased a lot by the fact that a lot of universities have come back. If you take, for example, Maseno University, there is Jaramogi Oginga Odinga in Bondo. You come to Kisumu town, we have a lot of universities. We have Nairobi University is in Kisumu. A number of them are actually there, KCA. But again, if you go to Homa Bay, you will find Tomboya University. You go to Rongo, there's Rongo University. There's Kisii University. There's Masinde Muliro next door. So all these places are opportunities for developing our youth into people depending on their areas of interest. So we still think, I still think we need to, improve this budget so that we have relevant courses that can empower the youth for given interests. Of course, lower education like ECD, primary, we thank the government that lower ECD and primary are basically free. Then there's also free secondary education. It's not actually free, but it is supplemented. The government supplements heavily. So this also has increased enrollment in schools. Then there is the 100% shift from primary to secondary school. And then the TVETs, which has also been, which are also being encouraged now. So all these things will mean that in future, we shall have a lot of people with the skills that can enable them work. Okay? Now, so we need to also urge the youth themselves, that things have changed a lot. In the past, in our times, when you went to education, it was that you start looking for relatives to help you get a job in an office somewhere. You write application here and there to get jobs. That thing has changed a lot. So whatever skills we need, let us see how we can use them, harness them to develop ourselves, to do things that will help us as individuals. Because if we do this, we can also pick 1 or 2 people to bring them to help them also earn a living. So we do things that we shall self-employ, then we can also employ somebody so that we all help each other to develop. I have to talk about healthcare because that is my area of practice. Essentially, healthcare is devolved into the counties, but it has not started flowing very well. County governments lament about inadequate funding or delayed devolvement of the funds into the counties. So that a number of times you find that staff go for months without pay. And this has led to a lot of salary parades where people who are supposed to be in hospitals stay at home so that people who are sick do not get treatment. And this itself is not good. So I think we need to have a way that we keep our staff in the hospitals all through. Of course, I know it has been proposed that we have a commission that deals with the human resource in the health ministry. I think if that happens, we shall have better way of dealing with the manpower. There are also the consumables in the hospitals. I know for certain, because I'm a practitioner in this area, that a number of times we have shortages due to the fact that the counties are unable to pay the supplier, which is KEMSA. So you can have a number of months of going without drugs. Hospitals are not hospitals if there is no activity going in them. They just remain buildings. So we need to have the medical, the pharmaceuticals, the non-pharmaceuticals, lab reagents, X-ray materials, all those things, so that at any one time a patient can move from position A to position Z flawlessly and get medications and get well. If that happens, then we shall have a very healthy nation, a nation that is able to work. But if that does not happen, then we shall have a problem. We also know the impasse that has been there because with the HIV medication, the government plus the donors, this is an area that also needs to be attended to urgently, because if we don't do this, then those people who have been suppressed virally for a long time may also reverse. Their conditions may reverse, and this may not be good. So I just want to urge the county governments, the national governments to work in tandem so that we have efficient medical services. This is Nonkwe Manyanky. I want to thank One Vibe Africa for giving this opportunity on this Made in Kisumu Season 2. Thank you so much.